Noong 2019, nagkaroon ng US ban ang Huawei. Nailagay sila sa US Entity List kung saan pinagbawalan silang gumamit ng USA-made na technology pagdating sa telecommunications dahil sa national security concerns. This was under the first term ni Donald Trump. Isa sa mga naging resulta nito, bawal nang gamitin ni Huawei ang Google Mobile Services. Dito nagsimula na hiritan ng Xiaomi at ibang brands ang Huawei na sinasabi nilang may easy access kami sa Google, which Huawei lost. At noong 2020, nung magkakaroon na ng pandemic, lalo pang ni-restrict ng USA yung Huawei. Pinagbawalan na rin silang makipag-collaborate with TSMC at lalo pang nalugmok ang Huawei dahil nga meron tayong chip shortage during the pandemic era. Lahat nag-aagawan, maraming factories na nag-shutdown, so bumagal yung production ng mga chipsets. At dito sa Pilipinas, nagsimula na rin silang mahirapan na maibenta yung mga Huawei devices nila without the Google services. At marami ang nag-expect na marahil ito na magpapalubog sa Huawei ng tuluyan dahil nga napakahirap na pumunta sa global market, magbenta ng mga devices nyo na walang easy access sa mga Google services. Lalo pat ginagamit talaga ng karamihan ng mga tao yung mga Google services. Pero marahil ang tanong ng karamihan, bakit meron pa ring Huawei at paano sila nag-survive amidst all the challenges? Well, napakarami nilang adjustments na ginawa. Una, nag-refocus sila. Instead of going global, dahil na-cut off na yung ties nila sa US market, they decided na magpo-focus muna sila sa China mismo. And that was a really good plan dahil sa China, hindi naman required yung Google services. Kung nakasubok na kayo ng China ROM phones, alam nyong hindi pa automatically activated yung Google services. While it is there, you really have to activate it bago nyo magamit. And nakapunta na rin ako sa China before, and I can tell you firsthand that they really don't rely on Google services. So yung unang adjustment na yon was an easy one for Huawei. At isa pang malaking bagay na nakatulong sa kanila, yung pag-shift nila sa iba't ibang industries. Mas dinamihan nila yung investment nila sa cloud computing, sa smart home technology, and even electric vehicles. And I can tell you firsthand, nakakita ako inside the store mismo ng Huawei sa Beijing na meron talaga silang mga binibentang kotse. Pero hindi lang yun yung adjustments na ginawa nila kasi hindi pa yun sapat para ma-augment yung major losses na dinaranas nila. So unahin natin yung software. Paano nila in-address yung US ban na wala na silang Google services? First off, they started working fast on their own homegrown na OS, which is Harmony OS. So para sa mga old-time Huawei users out there, kung naalala nyo, EMUI pa yung gamit ni Huawei before the ban. So with Harmony OS, yung idea is that they will not be relying on the Android operating system. Kasi if you don't know, yung base talaga ng EMUI is Android OS, and pati na rin yung starting ng Harmony OS. So what Huawei is doing right now is paunti-unti nilang tinatanggal yung traces ng Android OS from the Harmony OS para masabit talaga nila na it's their own 100% na OS. But of course, kalakip nito is another major struggle kasi marami pa ring applications na hindi pa fully compatible with Harmony OS. So they made another adjustment. Pwede na nating i-spoof yung Google services on Huawei devices. Marami silang workarounds na ginawa, but still, para sa akin lang naman, para may idea kayo, palagi itong binibida ng mga Huawei-sponsored na tech content creators na meron tayong Gbox and other workarounds para sa Google services. Pero malayo pa rin yung experience with an actual natively Google-supported na device. But still, kung hardcore fans kayo ng Huawei and Google users kayo as well, this was a really nice welcome development. And speaking of Google services din pala guys, we really have to mention Honor dito sa kwento natin. Dahil yung Honor used to be a sub-brand ng Huawei. Maraming nagduda kung magiging standalone company nga ba talaga si Honor after it was sold by Huawei in 2020. Pero from the looks of it, hindi naman naisama sa entity list si Honor. So that's why meron pa rin tayong Google services and international global support for Honor devices as of present day. And sa pagkakaalala ko, halos lahat ng assets ni Huawei under the Honor brand na ibenta rin nila sa state-owned na company. So while Honor is still under a state-owned company in China, wala siya sa national security concerns ng USA. So let's just all assume na wala ng kamay si Huawei inside the Honor brand. Pero sa ibang video na natin pag-usapan yung buong Honor story. For now, let's go back sa usapang Huawei. So after all those adjustments na ginawa ni Huawei after ng major dip nung na-announce yung ban, nagsimula na ulit mag-stabilize yung performance ng revenue nila. Noong 2023, nagkaroon ng report na merong over 9% na year-on-year growth yung Huawei after their major dip. So ang nagpaangat ng husto dito, yung mga new consumer products nila like yung mga Huawei bands nila, yung mga watch nila, earphones, and other things outside of mobile devices. And another major development para kay Huawei, yung partnership nila with SMIC. This time around, si SMIC na ang gumagawa ng chipsets ni Huawei. Meron lang isang downside, bawal pa rin gumamit ng 5G internationally and medyo mahina pa yung mga chipsets nila. So even though nilalagay nila yung mga Kirin na 7nm chipsets nila para sa mga bagong flagships nila, it's still way weaker than what we can get with the Snapdragon and MediaTek chipsets at the flagship level. Kung isipin nyo, behind talaga sila sa technology na to kasi yung SMIC is still developing yung first 5nm na chipset nila, pero meron ring rumors na by 2026, baka kaya na mag-produce ng SMIC ng 3nm chipsets. Pero with these developments, magugulat na lang kayo na nagsusurvive talaga ng husto yung Huawei. Even though dito sa Pilipinas, hindi sila masyadong matunog dahil nga sa kawalan ng Google services, but you will be surprised na makikita natin sila yung mga pioneers pagdating sa innovations right now, especially with the Huawei Mate XT na triple folding phone, the first in the world. That tells us that Huawei is not going away. And in terms of more innovations, they are still doing their best para magkaroon pa ng iba't ibang developments in technology, lalo na sa mobile devices natin, especially that fun feature na nakita natin kung saan gagamitin natin yung palm natin para mag-transfer ng file sa ibang device. And while it does look gimmicky, you can't deny na sobrang astig niya. So ano ba yung pwede nating asahan sa Huawei, specifically here in the Philippines? Well, para sa akin lang naman to guys, as long as wala pa rin tayong native support for Google services, hindi natin ma-feel yung pagka-native ng mga applications like YouTube, Google Drive, Gmail, and all that, medyo mahihirapan pa rin talagang makabalik or makaangat si Huawei dito sa market natin. But they're still doing their best para mag-expand globally outside of the USA. And maraming nagsasabi na hater daw ako ng Huawei porket sinabi ko yung mga honest truth about the Huawei phones at the entry level and even in the mid-range level. Pero sinasabi ko lang naman kasi talaga yung totoo para matulungan yung mga consumers, lalo na kung magbabayad kayo ng isang device na 15,000 pesos tapos Snapdragon 680, walang 5G, hindi maganda yung camera, that is what you're getting. So ang mensahe ko sa inyo, kung akala nyo nag-hate lang ako, don't shoot the messenger. And sa totoo lang, malaki ang panghihinayang ko na nawalan ng Google services ang Huawei dahil sobrang hanga ako sa camera capabilities nila when they were near the top of the mobile industry. So although nung una, parang nagwagi yung USA in dethroning Huawei, but it seems like sa ngayon, medyo nakakabawi na si Huawei, pero abangan natin kung ano pang ibang developments si Huawei. But for now, personally lang naman guys, hindi ako bibili ng Huawei device without Google services. But let's see what happens in the coming years. What about you guys, lalo na sa mga fans ng Huawei? Okay lang ba sa inyo na walang Google services ang mga Huawei mobile devices nyo? And kung nagustuhan nyo yung video na to at may natutunan kayo, ano lang ba yung mag-like, comment, and subscribe na kayo dito sa channel natin? And kung gusto nyo pang manood ng mga videos ko, may mga ililink po ako dyan, panigurado magugustuhan yung mga yan. Hanggang sa susunod, ako nga pala ulit si Janus ng Pinoy Tech Dad. Kita-kita ulit tayo